Welcome back to the DadWise podcast. My name is Isaac. I'm the host, and I'm excited to be talking to you about pregnancy. This is the third video in our Dad's Guide to Pregnancy series. And if you're expecting to have a baby, you're in the right place. Thank you for joining me. The last two videos we talked about how to deal with morning sickness, kind of the first trimester stuff, and then conversations to have with your wife. And then today we're going to be talking about the gear, the essential items you'll need for the baby when the baby comes. But before we get to that, I want to let you know we have a new book out called 12 Rules for Dad Life. You can grab it on Amazon, hardback, softback, digital back. You can get them in whatever format you want, and I'm working on getting the audiobook put together also. We also have a Facebook community that you can join. It's a $5 a month on Patreon, or you can kind of scale up if you want some free stuff on Patreon. That's kind of how we support this podcast. I'd love to have you guys join us on that Facebook community. There will be links below to all of that. And I'd love for you to join us. If you have any questions, that's a great place to get those answered. Talk about stuff, dad stuff. So today, talking about the things you need for when you have a baby and some other things that are optional. Number one thing, actually this isn't in any particular order, but diapers. You're going to want some diapers. There are all sorts of different kinds of diapers. We used one called Dyper, D-Y-P-E-R, very clever. They're bamboo based, so they're a little better. We also did cloth diapers for our first 2.5 kids. We gave up on number 3 pretty quick. They're kind of a pain, but they're fun if you have nothing else going on and you want to dunk poo in the toilet and then wash all the diapers every week. It's kind of a pain, but if you want to save the planet, that's a great way to do it. We use the diapers now because they're good quality. They're a subscription service, so they'll drop them off once a month for you. And they are bamboo, so it makes us feel good. They're a little better for the environment. Clothes. You're going to want to put clothes on your baby. I like baby sacks, so without the legs, it's a lot easier to get a baby into a sack. So you just pull their head through, put their arms out, and then the sack. You can either get a sack that ties at the bottom. I love these, what are they called? It's called Magnetic Me. I'll put a link to them, but they're magnetic onesies because babies are like squirmy and moving around all the time. And so magnets just like slap down and then it's on. It's pretty amazing. You don't have to snap each snap or button or whatever it is. You can just magnet your baby together, and it's pretty great. So I highly recommend a magnetic onesie if you can find one. Magnetic Me has them. I didn't see any on Amazon that were magnetic, so Magnetic Me might be the only place. I'll put a link to it so you can find it easily. They're a little bit expensive, but if your mom wants to buy you something fancy, tell her to get you that. So clothes. Babies don't wear hats, so you can get them a hat if you want to, but I think Magnetic Me sends a little bonnet with each one, but those usually don't end up making it. So with the clothes, you'll also want a swaddle. You can wrap them up real tight. They have like stretchy ones, and I'm sure there's some swaddle tutorials, but you'll get it pretty easy. You just tuck one side in and then wrap them around. Get them nice and tight. Keeps their arms in because they'll wake themselves up just spazzing out. Babies are they're practicing moving, and so they spaz out. You don't need a ton of clothes. You also don't need socks. People will give you socks. Your baby doesn't need to wear socks. And grandmas in the grocery store will always come up to you and be like, "Oh, where's your socks?" They talk to your baby, not to you, which is super, it's a pet peeve of mine. But they don't need socks, especially if they're in a sack. You can just sack their feet and they're good to go. The next thing you'll need is a crib or a bassinet. We like bassinets, somewhere for your baby to sleep. I don't think it's recommended for babies to sleep in bed with you, but we have done that. It does happen. because mom's breastfeeding in bed and everyone falls asleep. So that can happen. My wife has a pregnancy pillow. It's like a big U-shape thing, and that is not on my list of must-have items, but it's my wife would probably put it on her must-have items list. So a pregnancy pillow, it's great for pregnancy, and it's also great to keep the baby kind of close. So I'll put links to that too. Pregnancy pillow, but a bassinet, you can get a real cheap one for like under $100. They're just kind of a basket that sits up off the ground, and it works great for sleeping. You can do a whole crib, a whole get down for a baby room. But to be honest, you're not going to use a baby room. What do they call them? A nursery. You're not going to use a nursery for a while, so you don't need to rush to get that all set up, unless it's like good for you and you want to. But our third child has slept in a closet his whole life, and he's fine. We put a crib in there, and then we have some of our old clothes, and he doesn't care at all. Now he sleeps in the basement on the other side over there, which used to be my office. So he's mobile. He sleeps wherever. He's been our best sleeper. So yeah, no need for a big crib or anything at this point. You'll want a crib eventually. When they start to crawl around and jump out of the bassinet, you'll want some higher walls to keep them constrained. The next thing you'll want is a car seat. Probably the first thing. I mean, if you're driving your baby home, you legally have to have a car seat. Hospitals won't let you leave without them. So get a car seat. You can find one on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace. Someone's got to have a car seat. I don't know why we should never have to buy car seats again in this world that we live in, because babies grow out of them, and so they should just hand them down to the next baby. So you should never have to buy full price baby stuff, in my opinion. I think you can have a baby for almost free if you just ask around. We have a group called Buy Nothing here in Olympia, and you can buy nothing. So you just say, hey, I need baby stuff. And people say, I have baby stuff sitting in my closet. We thought we would have more babies, but we never had more babies. So just ask for stuff, and you can get it. You can get a cheap little Graco one is what we have for like $100, or this one's $200. It's gone up. Inflation. So yeah, get a free one, or have your mom or grandma or mother-in-law buy one for you. These ones are all optional. Those are the only essential items. Get your baby home. And even so, if you have a home birth, then you don't need a car seat. And you don't really need a bassinet, because you can put a baby in a basket you already have. I'm just trying to make this as cheap as possible for you. Baby clothes are probably something you'll want to buy, unless you just put them in one of your old t-shirts and then tie up the bottom. But no, you buy those things for your baby. You'll want to invest in your child, but you don't need to go overboard and break the bank. People say that babies are expensive, but they don't have to be. These are some bonus items, non-essential in my opinion. Breastfeeding pump or supplies. You don't need a pump. Pumps are super helpful. If your wife needs to work and be away from the baby, she can pump, and then you can feed. Or if you want to feed the baby during the night, that's a great way to do it. Get a bottle, pump, and if you need formula for whatever reason, you can also pay for that. Burp cloths and bibs. We don't ever use a bib. Bibs seem crazy to me. We never had clothes that we were too attached to, so if they got stained, we just kept wearing them. We don't care. But if you want a bib, they make some cute ones that catch the food, and then you don't have to sweep the floor as much. Burp cloths are nice, though, because your baby will burp up a lot. It's different than barfing. It's just breast milk that pops out sometimes. So you want something to wipe that up with. You can use a regular kitchen towel or your shirt, since you're a dad now. But having dedicated burp stuff is great. I have bath supplies here, kind of as a note just to tell you not to buy bath supplies, because your baby doesn't need a bath. Until your baby is getting dirty, you can if you want to, and if it's fun for you, but right after the baby's born, you should wait a couple weeks, because I think it's called Vernix, is like the slimy weird stuff that is on your baby, is very good for their skin. It helps like prevent infection, it helps moisturize the skin, protect their skin from the air, because they've been in this like weird liquid a thing for the last 9 months. They need to like have something to help them with the outside world. So don't bath your baby for a couple weeks at least. And we don't bathe our babies for like the first year or till they're walking or eating dirt. So you can wipe them down and that's great. But we don't love putting soaps on our babies because soaps aren't really great for them. Dries out their skin. So that's something for you to look into. A lot of soaps have bad stuff in them too, even for you. So look into that and maybe just never take a shower again. I know some people have baby monitors. They love watching their baby sleep and they want to wake up right when their baby wakes up. We do not have baby monitors. We don't like them or want them. We want our babies to sleep. And if they wake up, we want to not hear them wake up. Our baby sleeps in the same room with us for a long time. And then when we start our sleep training, we put them to sleep and we expect them to sleep. And we can hear them. We have a small house. We can hear them if they're awake. So we don't use baby monitors. If you want one for peace of mind, I've just noticed that it stresses people out more than it helps them. So try without if you can. But if you're nervous either way, might as well grab it. A diaper bag, you can use your wife's purse or you can get yourself a dedicated backpack. There's some real cool dad tactical backpack stuff you can get. Fly Dad has a backpack. That's pretty cool. I can link those below if you want them. But you can I usually stuff a diaper and a pack of wipes in my back pocket and then just go for it. Or just leave stuff in the car. We're not super on top of things as far as diaper bags go. If we go out on a long outing, we bring snacks in a bag with us, but generally we just have a few extra diapers in the car if we need them. And you're not going to be leaving the house with your baby for the first little while anyway, so you don't need that. Pacifiers and other toys. You can buy a pacifier for your baby if you want. There's pros and cons to pacifiers. People talk about how they mess up their teeth if they suck on them too long. So do some research on pacifiers. Most of our kids used a pacifier for a few weeks and then they just didn't like it. So mom's breast works great as a pacifier, and she was around. My wife was around most of the time, so we just did that. There's one toy that I like. It's the giraffe. I think it's Ellie the giraffe. That babies loved sucking on and chewing on. So that's one that's been great. I'll link that also in this. So a lot of links in this, but you don't need to buy all of it or any of it. Or you can buy as much as you want and spend tons of money. There's also strollers. You can get a stroller, but I don't recommend strollers. Wearing your baby. That's another thing I should add to this list, is wearing your child. So like a whatever you call it, a carrier or a sling. We have one that like goes around and then back around, tucks in. It's like tribal style. I don't know what you call it, but it works great once you figure it out. But there's also ones that just like clip in. I'm not very flexible, so I have to have people help me clip in. But wearing your baby is really great for you, for your baby, and for your wife, because babies tend to like to be close to you. And you can't just hold the baby all day, so you get your hands free and you can do the dishes, you can clean the house, you can move around and have the baby on you sleeping the whole time. It's really great. That's a must-have item. I'm sorry I missed that. Bonus. You got to watch to the end to get all these bonus tips. Is a baby carrier on your body is a great thing to do as a dad. Highly recommend it. So if you have or know of any other essential items, you can leave comments below. Let me know what you think. Send me a message. Join the DadWise community on Facebook and ask any questions that you might have. But that's all I have for you today. Next week is going to be Baby Day. Talking about giving birth. This is the one you've all been waiting for. So thanks for joining me. If you like this podcast, if you would leave a review or a 5-star thing, that would help me a ton. I would appreciate that a bunch. But until next time, go out there and be an awesome dad. See you later.